SeatGeek. For all your ticketed events, from sporting to concert outings, SeatGeek has you covered. They even conveniently color-coded each ticket on their website from amazing to worst, so you can easily know which are the best deals. SeatGeek, the smart way to buy. Save $20 off your next ticket purchase with the promo code. Yo, what's up, everybody? Thank you guys for tuning in for another episode of Keep Pound _TV. I'm your host, Grande Gato, also known as the Big Cat. My cool guys, put your paws up if you're rocking with the Big Cat today. We're here to talk about splitting carries with Christian McCaffrey, how to allocate the right amount of carries between Christian McCaffrey and Reggie Bonifant. We'll talk about it, but first, one quick question before we get started. Do you love the Carolina Panthers like I love the Carolina Panthers? Yes? No? Maybe? Do you love the Carolina Panthers like I love the Panthers? You look at that? Give it that, man. We're going to talk about how we can distribute this thing and still be effective with Christian McCaffrey. Let's get into it. Before we get started, make sure you subscribe, click the notification bell so you don't miss the video. Now, shout out to NFL Next Gen Stats. We're going to go behind the scenes and we're going to look at a mathematics scientific equation on how to distribute the ball between Christian McCaffrey and Reggie Bonifant. If you look up on your screen right here, we're looking at Next Gen Stats when it comes to the Carolina Panthers' Christian McCaffrey performance in Week 1 against the LA Rams. Now, ultimately, let's start with the rushing attack. He had 19 carries running the ball. Now, if you look on your screen, 9 of those 19 carries went from 0 to 5 yards, okay? 9 of them. All right, so he really got most of his work on what? 9 carries of 5+ yards. So 5+ yards mean anywhere from 5 to 6 to 20 to 15, anything beyond 5 yards, all right? He had 9 carries for 5+ yards, including 2 touchdowns, 1 tackle for loss. Now, what we're going to find out today is, out of these carries, how much impact is he taking from these 0 to 5 yard gains, all right? Really, those are like what I like to call grunt work kind of gains. I mean, you know, if you're getting anywhere between 0 to, like, say, 5 yards, you got to think those are plays that you probably could put Reggie Bonifant in, all right? So 9 of those carries, he ended up having ultimately, 128 yards. Really, he only had 128 yards, and he did hit a lot of his yards came on those 9 carries of 5+ yards, and he ended up getting 2 touchdowns off of 5+ yards. Also, let's take a look at the receiving game. Now, Week 1, 10 receptions, 5 receptions under 10 yards, 2 receptions of 10 yards plus, and 3 receptions right at 10 yards. So, again, when it comes to his reception part of the game, I'm not too much worried about him. I like him in the passing game a whole lot. I think he can really get some defensive nightmares. But I wanted to really focus on the running attack. And again, like I say, 9 carries of less than 0 to 5 yards. I think those are Reggie Bonifant touches that we can divide them up. Let's take a look at Week 2. So moving on to Week 2, I didn't have the receptions up here because Week 2 and Week 3, he only had 2 receptions and 3 receptions, so there's no point in tracking that. Let's start with Week 2 rushing attack. Now, in Week 2, he ended up having 13 carries for 0 to 5 yard gain. He ended up having 2 carries for 5+ yards, and he had 1 carry for a loss, 1 tackle for loss on there. So, with that being said, that was when the Tampa Bay Buccaneers came in and they really shut him down with the game plan. Again, Cam Newton wasn't able to be effective, so it makes everybody hurt, okay? So this is one of the reasons why it was important for Cam Newton to, disclose that injury, because as you can see, with him not being at his best, it hurt the running attack that week. So it's really hard to kind of decipher how many plays that Reggie could have got out of this game, and even if he would have made a difference, given the fact that he was hurt. Now moving on to Week 3 against the Arizona Cardinals. He had 7 carries of 5+ yards, 1 touchdown. Okay, again, now most of his explosive plays came on those 7 carries. He had 153 yards on 24 carries. 7 carries. That's where he got most of his yardage at, including a touchdown. Now, if you look at this, check this out: 16 carries to between 0 and 5 yards. 16 carries, and like I said before, Arizona did a phenomenal job shutting him down in the first half. Out of those 16 carries from 0 to 5 yards, I felt like that could have been cut in half. 8 of those could have went to Bonifant. So already through 3 games, what I showed you on the screen up here is at least 8 carries could have went to Bonifant in this game. Week 1, at least 9 carries could have went to Bonifant in that game. And here's the significance behind all this. I'm not trying to cause division between CMC or Bonifant. I'm trying to get the most out of our backup. Check this out. If there are, 8 carries or 16 carries where he only got 5 yards or between 0 and 5 yards, and in week 1 he had 9 carries between 0 and 5 yards, think about it. You got to roll the dice a little bit. If I put Reggie Bonifant, how many times do you think he could have done what he done against Jacksonville, where he went in there and had a 59-yard run on his first play? Okay, so listen, we all know Christian is dynamic. We all know he's explosive. We all know he's a home run hitter. We all know he's a ticking time bomb. He can go off on any play, but he does have his moments where he does only get you one between 2, 3, 4, 5 yards. And those are like short yardage plays designed to just kind of pick up first downs or just kind of get the offense going. So why not take a chance with Bonifant and see can he bust one free? Now moving on to the Houston Texans matchup, where he ended up having 27 carries. Now 17 of those carries went from 0 to 5 yards. All right, again, a lot of carries for a little bit of production. The week before, 16 carries, 0 to 5 yards. The week before, I think it was 9 carries for 0 to 5 yards. These are plays that Reggie Bonifant can get in there and really give him some relief. I mean, it's a lot of work. You're going in there doing grunt work for 3, 4, 5 yards and a little bit of production. Why not roll the dice again, like I said, with Reggie Bonifant? Really, Christian McCaffrey, if you see in week 4, he had 7 carries of 5+ yards, including a big one, and 2 touchdowns. Believe it or not, can I tell you something? Christian McCaffrey does a lot of his touchdowns, a lot of his big runs, usually between 7 and 9 plays. There are 7 to 9 plays each game that Christian McCaffrey's going to bust your ass. And the rest of them just grunt work. They're really, to be honest with you, that's what it is. So, Norv, it's up to you to go back and look at the film, find your best explosive plays that Christian likes, and to call them. Just dial them up. And the rest of the plays, as far as the grunt work, give him to Reggie Bonifant. He also had 3 carries for loss on that play. Week 4, also 3 receptions of 15+. All right, 15+ yard receptions. He had 3 receptions for 5 to 9 yard receptions. And then he had 4 receptions from 0 to 5 yards. So when it comes to the passing game, honestly, to be honest with you, I don't mind him getting as many touches as he won't. But when it comes to that running game, the high impact between the tackles, I think we need to start distributing it. And right now, the number is looking between 6 and 9 carries. Last but not least, let's go behind the scenes with the Jacksonville Jaguars next year stats. If you look on your screen right here, 8 carries of 5+ yards, including 2 touchdowns. Now, like I said before, man, these plays could be anywhere from 20 to 30 to 40 to anywhere, anything after 5+ yards. Christian does his works on, guess what? Like I just said, about 8 carries. 8 to 9 carries, Christian McCaffrey's busting your ass. And the rest of them's grunt work. He also ended up having 8 carries for 0 to 5 yard gains. And he had 3 carries for losses as well, giving him a grand total of 19 carries on the day for 176 yards. It doesn't take much, y'all. It doesn't take much for Christian to get started, and I expect for, to really utilize Reggie Bonifant. He also had 2 receptions of 15+ yards, and again, a touchdown, 3 receptions for 5 to 10 yards, and he had 1 reception for at least 5 yards. So, listen, man, I'm cool with him in the passing game. You know what I mean? You can't take him out that passing game. With Cam Newton being out, with Kyle Allen struggling, according to Norv Turner. Norv Turner came out and said that he's having a hard time recognizing the defense because they're doing some things that he's unfamiliar with. Thanks for the tip. But anyway, he's having a hard time, so you can't take Christian out that passing game. So leave him in there as much as you want. But one thing you can do to really minimize the frustration of Kyle Allen, to really minimize the impact of Christian McCaffrey, or all the hits that he's taking, go split back. Go split back. Why not turn around and let Christian get a big 10, 15-yard gain, come right back at him out of split back formation, play action off of him, and get Reggie Bonifant in the angle route, or throw him in the flat. Why not do that? Use him as a decoy. But there's more than one way to just use Christian McCaffrey other than just, always giving him the ball. I think that's going to come back to bite us if we keep going the way we're going now. Listen, he's dynamic. He can handle it. But listen, when you're playing football, attrition is real, fatigue is real, And this is a long season, man. This is a long-ass season. And you don't want him down the stretch against critical teams, hurting. Like I said, he did a backflip into the end zone, whatever. That's cool, but check this out, man. You got to protect your players, y'all. I got to protect them, man. And one way to protect them is splitting the reps. I'm your host, El Grande Gato, also known as the Big Cat. All in all, I feel like it's going to be anywhere between 6 and 9 carries each game that needs to go to backups, Reggie Bonifant, whoever you want in there. I think that's a fair amount of number. And also, listen, there should be no shortage of how many times you can use him out of different sets. I guarantee you, if you put Christian McCaffrey in the slot, he's still going to eat too. So use him as wide receiver. He's dynamic enough to play wide receiver. If Julian Edelman can go out there, at his short ass can go out there and make plays, I honestly believe that Christian can go out there as well. So, listen, get in the comment section. I want to hear from you guys. Let me hear what you guys think about this topic now. I'm your host, El Grande Gato. Make sure y'all tune into the podcast on Spotify, on Google Podcasts, Anchor FM. We're all over the place. Check us out, man. Let's get up out of it. Let the church say, dab. Make sure you subscribe. Don't forget to subscribe to the Carolina Panthers custom helmet giveaway video in the playlist. Once we hit 5,000 subscribers, I'll be giving away free a $300 retail value Marvel's Avenger Carolina Panthers helmet. Keep pounding.